Honourable Member Bruce-Grey-Owen Sound.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. Through you to the Minister. I'm fortunate enough to represent two First Nations in my riding, Saugeen First Nation and the unceded, the Chippewas of Nawash Unceded First Nation. I reached out to them to ask them if they had any questions for the government, and they posed sort of two questions they'd like some clarity on, and really one more of a comment, one a question. First one is just to get an update on where the government is on all recommendations that were made in the Murdered and Missing Girls, Women's Girls report. So just an update on is the government fully committed to actioning on all of them? And secondly, the chief shared with me that they'd been in great consultation just even today, I believe, with the local police detachment. And obviously when we're dealing with this very tragic and important issue, that relationship that needs to exist between First Nations and their local law enforcement to help find these missing women and girls before they end up in the tragic situation. But she highlighted to me, the chief, that more education's needed. And I'm just wondering, is this government committed to providing the necessary resources needed to help educate law enforcement and Canadians in general about this very important subject? Thanks, Mr.
The Honourable Minister of Crown Indigenous Relations. The time has almost expired, so I just let them.
Well, clearly there's a need for, and we know it with the clear record of failure of enforcement bodies across this country to serve Indigenous peoples and protect them for stronger reasons that is still going on in this country. And absolutely, there's a need to continue that education, cultural sensitivity training, engagement with the community to understand that reality and put in the same efforts as they put in with everyone else when they're looking for someone that goes missing. It's the very most basic of requirements that we would ask, and we still see those forces failing. There is requirements for the guidance from the federal government, but also our provincial counterparts. As to the recommendations or the calls to justice in the final report in MMIWG, what we've heard very clearly is we need some form of accountability, and that's why I moved in January to appoint Jennifer Moore-Rattray to give us recommendations on an ombudsperson. So we do have that third party that is able to look at what the government's doing, look at what it's not doing, and what it can do faster to make sure that we're properly responding to the calls to justice. Because I can stand here as long as the day is and talk to people, but really that level of trust is often missing towards people like me and the government, and we need a third party to actually help us move along the way so that we can move and continue to implement those calls for justice, which are systemic in nature and do require a thoughtful process as to how they actually get put into place.